And come to the massive brothers and sisters, we are finally back. We finally made it to the one and only reaction I'll be dropping on this YouTube platform for today. Welcome to every single one of you guys who've tuned into these here vibrations. Big up on yourself. One time for the I don't know why I was doing all that for, like I conducting a choir. Big up on yourself. Talking about that, brothers and sisters, I must say a rest in peace goes out to Father Martin, brothers and sisters. Of course, I know him as a little boy back in the day in school, and of course he used to teach us. He used to be the priest for the Catholic Church back then. And of course, you know, I know him as a little boy. He used to teach us choir and this kind of things there, how to pronounce your words and all this kind of something there. And of course, when we used to do the competition, we used to do decay competitions, man. Every time I was involved, and of course, my school was a St. John's school was involved. You know, we used to decay. They used to give me the mic from time to time to sing. But anyways, every time I was there, brothers and sisters, the one time I wasn't there, I remember the one time I wasn't there, they came out second, then I came back, then we came first. Anyways, big up to Mr. Martin, or Father Martin, if you want to say that right there. We were told that he passed away as a result of cancer. And I think, brothers and sisters, cancer is something we need to watch, especially when it comes down to two things. Water that we are drinking. Yes, brothers and sisters, chemicals are put in water, and of course, as time goes by, they accumulate. There's something I was telling a friend of mine on the basis of brushing teeth, and he was telling me that it actually helps the teeth. What do you call that again? Crap, I forget the name. Fluoride, brothers and sisters. Fluoride. It actually helps with strengthening the teeth and so forth and so forth. You're not drinking it, brothers and sisters. But keep in mind, you're not drinking it like drinking it for drinking its sake. But when you put it in your mouth, brothers and sisters, doesn't mean that some don't enter in. Now, can you imagine over the years, now different bodies respond differently to different things. Okay? What might affect you if you drink one thing versus somebody taking 100 is totally different. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Different bodies respond differently to different things right there. Your body might be more susceptible to certain things, while I am more resistant in that regard right there. So I just had to point this out. Anyways, taking the floor, put it in your mouth, you know, and as years upon years, this thing accumulates and is in the body, and you know, this can also cause certain things. I'm not saying that's what he passed away from. I'm just putting that into perspective. The second one is the injection, brothers and sisters. Of course, all throughout the world, if you literally pay attention, you realize that something of that sort, there has been an increase in the cancer of different types when it comes on to this thing right there. High jump in it, brothers and sisters, after the injection. I just have to point this out right there. Do with that what you will. Anyways, brothers and sisters, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate that. Of course, sympathies goes out to the priesthood. And of course, I don't know if he had family. Yeah, I don't know if he had family. Maybe he had brothers and sisters and his, you know. So sympathies goes out from the Mystelics family to the Martin priesthood. And of course, his family right there in that regard. Hopefully you know the creator before he left. Not because you're a priest means you know the creator and you're going to have no, brothers and sisters. If you don't know the creator, you're going straight to the bottomless. But we'll keep that in perspective, brothers and sisters. Hopefully you knew the creator before he left this planet right there. Anyways, brothers and sisters, like I indicated before, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate that. And of course, subscribe for you to get notified when I drop all my videos right there and then. Anyways, brothers and sisters, there's something rather interesting that is circulating, and I must bring it to you guys. And of course, let's get into the vibrations for today. Of course, we have the Dominica Bar Association. And of course, they said something rather, I think it was, what's his name again? Blackmore, that said some kind of thing, brothers and sisters. I don't really know what he was saying right there. But before I read this stuff, brothers and sisters, I, as an individual who like to pay attention to detail, I am realizing that what is most likely going on when it comes on to the situation with the Bar Association and Blackmore is a smoke screen. There's some sort of smoke screen on the underlining that they had to do this so that they can make it seem like everything, oh my God, how could you do this? How could you allow this to happen? Oh my God, no. I personally believe that there's a smoke screen going on where the higher-ups have allowed this man to go out on bail, and then somebody else comes in and says, how could this happen? This shouldn't be, on those kind of things there, when they are both on the same side. So this is just my thoughts on this right there. I think Blackmore is a whole smoke screen for what is taking place when it comes down to the situation involving the bail of Jonathan Lehrer, the one murder accused individual who just recently got bail It's very interesting, brothers and sisters. Somebody was pointing out to me, Mystelics, how on earth they let somebody there's a history. It's not just somebody saying, oh, maybe no. There's a history of threats that were made for these particular individuals, to the individuals who passed away or were taken as if he was God, took their lives. And of course, there was evidence on legs of certain things that was, boy, I tell you, boy, something is wrong in Dominica. Yeah? We'll get to that, brothers and sisters. But anyways, this is what a statement that was made by the Dominica Bar Association based off what Blackmore indicated right there. I myself haven't seen what Blackmore stated. If you guys don't, let me know that in the comment box below. But I can piece things together. This is why strong. You see me? That's why they tend to call me from places for me to make the connections. Yes, brothers and sisters. Anyways, the Dominica Bar Association reaffirms its commitment to the principle of judicial independence and the rule of law. That's what they say. That's what they claim. That's what they claim, brothers and sisters. They that claim it based off evidence and this kind of things there. When we seen certain things, we're saying, but wait, is that really not, is that really all you that doing that? Or is somebody else doing something that making only do something at the back of this thing? Because we tend to ask these questions based on what we've seen in reality. So when they say that they're reaffirming the judicial independence and the rule of law, we have to be very much skeptical of that. Anyways, recent remarks of the National Security and Legal Affairs individual regarding the court's approach to the granting of bail to Jonathan are concerning and unfortunate, they say. Like I indicated before, brothers and sisters, I think the very statements made by the national security individual is a smokescreen for what is taking place right there. And I said it here first, brothers and sisters, a smokescreen. This type of public criticism by the Minister of Government on a judicial decision unnecessarily casts a shadow over the independence of the judiciary and risks eroding public confidence in our legal system. The public already has their feelings or their reservations on what is taking place with the judicial system. They already have it. It's not like they say, oh, that the judicial system is something that we might be in two odds with, and you know what, we can still trust them. No! The only reason why the judicial system is still irrelevant today, because, brothers and sisters, what else do we have? What else? Okay then, I'll get my point right there, brothers and sisters. So anyways, the minister's remarks conveyed the impression that the court may have taken the matter with the utmost seriousness, have not taken the importance of not, have not taken the matter with the utmost seriousness or considered the relevant provisions of the Bail Act or other relevant law. I think I'll have to, on the basis, even if I think that what Blackmore is saying is a smokescreen, I agree with him there. Because the man have all the reason not to come back, Dominica. All. Just like the same situation that happened in Anguilla. But this time Dominica decides to put more stipulations on it. And we clearly see that no judge can tell somebody to revoke their citizenship. Very interesting, brothers and sisters. And keep in mind, I'm saying it here first. If you hear anything else from that last situation, if you guys hear anything after that about Jonathan Lehrer, you good. If you hear anything else on that, you good. I personally think he's just going to vanish from Dominica. They might take him overseas, you know, it's them, their ties and, you know, what have you, brothers. Take him overseas and send him back wherever he go and what have you. And then they say, oh, proper procedure, he has done this and does that and all kinds of things there. This is why I say the very statement of Blackmore, even though I did not hear it, I can already tell it's already smoke screen to make the people try to believe something else. But only the people who don't think will realize, you know, or will fall for it right there. Of course, they undermining the court's decision to grant bail. Blackmore that say that. I wonder if Scary them must have say, you know what, let's try to get him out. We'll keep him there for a while to make it seem. We'll deny bail, and then the third one will allow it and then make up some sort of excuse and then allow him to go, even though the excuses doesn't make any sense, because there's clearly two people who passed away, very evident on the person's leg, certain things that were used, and it comes down to the vehicles. There's clear history of the bacchanal that was taking place between the neighbors, the white neighbors, brothers and sisters, and two people are not dead. And these people were the only culprits. The only culprits. and then you guys are granting him bail. We foolish? Are we foolish? And it's interesting to find out the excuses. We're going to get that in a moment, brothers and sisters. It must be stated that in this case, specific reference to the Bail Act and several cases, President, blah, 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 Honorable Judge, blah, blah, blah. You guys can read this stuff right there. We're moving along. Moving ahead, brothers and sisters. Anyways, there's something rather interesting on natureislenews. I myself, when you're on that, you have to be careful though with this, because not everything you read, you have to be mindful. But let's just read this in this regard right there. Justice Minister Blackmore raps Bar Association and calls on them to retract the statement that they've made on him right there. I am indeed saddened by the recent statement purporting to be coming from the members of the Bar Association of Dominica in respect of comments made by me regarding the order of the High Court granting the murder accused Jonathan Lehrer bail. I have held the Bar Association of Dominica in highest regard, of course. I know that several of its members are distinguished attorneys at law, both in Dominica and regionally. However, I believe that firstly, one needs to beg the question of why such a statement is being made, countering my comment made concerning the bail. It's just a smoke screen. I was going to rule out the Bar Association, but he's right. Why are the counteract? There's some smoke screen vibes taking place to look as if there's some sort of argument in that regard. Oh, he's true, he shouldn't be let go and all this thing there. And the Bar Association says, yes, we follow all the laws and all those kind of things there, blah, 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 and all those kind of things. And then it was all orchestrated by the top. Brothers and sisters, I've seen this kind of things happen in reality right there. So when I see it unfolding in Dominica, you have to ask yourself a question or two. All of a sudden, the man Blackmore just come and say, hey, no, that shouldn't be how you can be granting bail and blah, blah, blah. People who can see, people can't see, don't see. Anyways, however, I believe firstly, one needs to beg the question of blah, blah, blah. I quote, concerning Jonathan, which is as a Minister of National Security and Legal Affairs of Dominica, I must inform the public on matters of public interest. Why didn't tell us about baby Sarah? Blackmore? Why didn't inform us on the situation involving baby Sarah? But you want to talk about public interest. All right. At the early stages of the prosecution of this matter, I addressed the public through a press conference as this case sparked great concern in Dominica and internationally. At this time, there was no statement made by the Bar Association. Yeah, that's why I say there's some sort of, smoke screen vibe that's taking place there. What is this? Why is this in gray? Anyways, my recent statement, however, attracted concern. I, in my statement, did not in any way commit the act of interference in the judicial independence. I in no way made statements attacking his lordship, this individual right there. I also did not advocate for and direct in any way that a particular ruling be made. My comments were also made after the order of bail was granted, and I remained silent during periods of litigation on the matters, both at the first bailing, blah, blah, blah. All right. Coupled with this, the Bar Association ought to consider that judges can be subjected to criticism, yes, both by lawyers and public officials, as long as this criticism is respectful, measured, and based on evidence. I agree. The evidence is key here. And based on the evidence as was presented against Jonathan Lehrer, he should not be granted bail in any way, shape, or form. All right? Now, guys, okay, let me just continue read. Also, case law reveals the criticism of judges ought to be made without malice and should not this blah, blah, blah. Okay. The Bar Association in its statement has provided no basis in law showing how my statement has amounted to interference with judicial independence. And he's right. He's right there. On the rebuttal side, he's definitely right in that regard. There's no in the law, nothing to say there's interference. He can't give his statements. As a minister, yes, you hold certain weights when it comes down to your positions in society. That's true. But he said nothing in that regard as to the question, why was he granted bail? Now, keep in mind, like brothers and sisters, I know, like I said with him, but keep in mind, I am still believing on the understanding of what is taking place, that all this is just a smoke screen. All this is just a smoke screen. But we will see how things go right there. You guys can continue reading. Another question becomes apparent. Has this present statement been approved and ratified by a majority membership of the Bar Association? It appears that this unsigned statement being circulated, so he's talking about blah blah blah. Okay, you guys get the point. Hopefully I don't have to spell out everything for you guys. The Dominica Bar Association, after critiquing my comments, has also appealed to all public officials to uphold integrity. We're talking about integrity in Dominica, on the judicial system, on national security. Where I be there now? Where I be there? You're talking about integrity as if these people they have integrity. But what I really want to get into there, brothers and sisters, is this thing that I saw right there. Something rotten in Dominica. Judges ruled that police mishandled the case and lied to courts. Very interesting stuff right there, brothers and sisters. In a pivotal ruling on November 26, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court granted bail to Jonathan, the U.S. citizen accused of the double homicide in Dominica, exposing significant missteps by the island's police and prosecution. Does make up something now. What was the missteps? What was the missteps that they had to take? Not take the people who are accused and then bring them in front of the court and then see what was going on. I mean, the only set of people there, what was the missteps there? What was it? Maybe I don't know, brothers and sisters. Maybe you guys know more than me, but I'm trying to figure out what was the missteps where you can say that the police lied. What the police had to lie about? That it was not them that did it? Oh, it's them that did it, so the police lied about them? When there's a history of these people, really? Are we serious, brothers? Are we serious? That is crazy right there. Anyways, citizens accused of blah blah blah. Anyways, the case, which initially appeared to rest on overwhelming evidence, look at this beautiful part, has unraveled under judicial scrutiny, revealing procedural delays, lack of disclosure, and troubling allegations that a senior police officer, this individual, James right there, misled the courts. How did that happen, brothers and sisters? Let me just put that on right there so you can, you know, guys, I like to read with my expression. So,
Jonathan Lehrer was charged in December 2023 with the murders of Daniel Longwa and Dominique Marchand. From the outset, the case was fraught with delays, primarily due to the prosecution's failure to meet court-ordered timelines for disclosure. Despite assurances during an earlier bail hearing in April 2024, the prosecution failed to provide witness statements, forensic evidence, and other critical documents in a timely manner. This led to repeated adjournments of preliminary hearings, with a key paper committal scheduled for July 2024, delayed indefinitely.
Wouldn't that then lead to a mistrial, guys? Don't you think that that was willfully done to create some sort of mistrial in that regard? Don't you think that that is what it's leading to?
In the April 2024 hearing, the court denied bail, accepting the state's claims of strong eyewitness and forensic evidence against Lehrer. However, the recent disclosures have cast doubt on those assertions, particularly concerning ACP James' sworn testimony.
Wait a while, but I thought in the previous paragraph we read, they said that there was a delay in the eyewitnesses and this kind of things here. The lack of evidence, quote unquote, forensic. Dominica forensic evidence, no? Anyways, in this statement, they're talking about the court denied bail, accepting the state's claims of strong eyewitness and forensic evidence against Lehrer. However, the recent disclosures have cast doubts on those assertions, particularly concerning the partner himself, the sworn testimony. Now, I remember watching a documentary and I listened to the lawyer, and the lawyer says he's gonna be free. They have enough evidence that he's gonna be free. When I listened to I think it's a Canadian thing, or one of the documentaries that was out there. This is one of the reasons why I definitely have to do a reaction on that video. Guys, if you want me to do a reaction, I will do it for BrBpTV reaction, live interaction reaction, so we can get that going right there. Anyways, let's just continue, brothers and sisters. Let's just continue because this is very interesting stuff.
Central to the April 2024 decision was ACP James's affidavit, which portrayed a compelling case against Lehrer. He claimed there was overwhelming evidence, including eyewitness testimony and scientific findings linking Lehrer to the crime. However, during the renewed bail application, Lehrer's legal team dismantled these claims, showing that the disclosed evidence failed to substantiate James's assertions.
He's gonna walk, guys. I mean, we shouldn't. Yo, let's continue. Boy, Dominica, boy, hey.
For instance, the two individuals cited as eyewitnesses neither saw the crime nor identified Lehrer as being present at the scene. Witness 1 only heard gunshots and observed unrelated events, while Witness 2, a tourist, made a vague identification of a white man during a police bus drive-by, hardly the robust eyewitness accounts ACP James had described.
But shouldn't they ask about, because like I was saying, I watched the documentary, and it seems like the documentary did a good job of finding none of the persons in relation to what was taking place around that time, including the court matter. That would then lead directly to the individuals that, or the individual that got bail. So how did news people or the overseas people can come, find out all this information, and in Dominica for some reason the court can't do that? So don't you think that might have been a setup though, to make it seem like this? I mean, if they say that they have weaknesses and these kind of things there, and of course you have to look at not just the people who actually saw what was going on, because I don't think anybody saw that they took the vehicles and they put it by the river and they catch it on fire and all those kind of things there. The evidence, however, on what we saw was based on what we saw on the man's leg. There was chemical burns on the man's leg. How did he get that? They would say, oh, you know, I think on the thing, the guy was speaking. One of the guys that work on the Jonathan Lehrer's property, he was saying that there was some sort of they were doing some mechanical stuff, but then I think when they further asked him, they said, did he get that burn from this thing? And said, that's not possible. He said, that's not possible. So if they're trying to link back the chemical burn to this thing, I mean, plus there were chemical usage on the vehicle, from our understanding, linking that back on people who were not actually there, then that they can just say, well, there's no witness, it's not true, it didn't happen, somebody else did it. Or they can claim they themselves did it themselves. Very interesting stuff, brothers and sisters. Let's continue right there.
Moreover, the forensic evidence that James referenced also failed to connect Lehrer to the crime. A DNA report provided by the prosecution merely confirmed the identity of the deceased but offered no link to Lehrer. The absence of ballistics reports and photographic evidence further weakened the state's case. James's insistence on the strength of the evidence during the first hearing was not only inaccurate but bordered on deliberate deception.
Like I indicated before, brothers and sisters, they're looking at the forensics and this kind of things there. Forensic evidence to link them to the thing. Was there any all you know to take people drone and try to send it to Trinidad to find out what was going on in people drone, but you can't take evidence or have the people come and get the evidence for them to prove the case? Huh? All you can't do that.
Justice Colin Williams's November 2024 ruling excoriated the prosecution, particularly highlighting ACP James' role. The judgment noted that James' affidavit for the April hearing presented a misleading narrative, relying on assertions unsupported by disclosed evidence. The court also emphasized that James failed to dispute or adequately respond to Lehrer claims during the renewed bail hearing, implicitly admitting the state's shortcomings.
Well, I think the state does have definite shortcomings when it comes on to finding out certain things that have happened. They definitely do. But the evidence is clear. What the prosecutor or what the is the prosecutor? What do you call them again? What the defendants? The defending this. Anyways, what Jonathan, I forget what they call him. Jonathan Lehrer's lawyers them are doing. He said, well, there's no weaknesses. You need the forensics. There's no forensics in that regard to link him to anything. So how do you know it was him? I mean, we all know what happened, brothers and sisters. Just like we know about the O.J. Simpson situation. And they use the glove and say, but the glove doesn't fit. The glove doesn't fit, so it can't be him. But we all knew it was O.J. that did We all know. I mean, the man snitched on his own self. He snitched on his own self later on in a book. What if I did it? Is the book. And how he would have done it if he did it. The man snitched on his own self in a book. But the court ruled that the glove didn't fit. So obviously that's what they're going to go over, brothers and sisters. But we know about the struggle that was taking place and all this kind of something there. Anyways, let me just go down to this one. Health concerns and prolonged, obviously. That's another situation that I found very interesting. Because they claim about cancer and he doesn't look like he has any... Anyways.
Adding to the urgency of Lehrer's bail application was his deteriorating health. Lehrer's medical condition, including prostate-related issues and complications from inadequate prison care, underscored the prosecution's failure to prioritize timely proceedings. Despite multiple requests from Lehrer's legal team, the prison authorities denied or delayed access to necessary medical consultations, further compromising his well-being.
So they use that. They say, well, we don't have the forensics, we don't have witnesses to say, he did the crime and those kind of things there. We don't have none of these things, so, and then they just put up about, health issues and what have you, and then, well, you know.
The court acknowledged these health concerns in granting bail, setting strict conditions to ensure Lehrer's compliance while allowing him to seek medical treatment abroad. However, the broader issue remains. Lehrer's prolonged detention without proper disclosure or a timely trial exemplifies systemic issues within Dominica's criminal justice system. 100%.
We know that is a fact, brothers and sisters, when it comes down to Dominica's judicial system. We have a number of judges who have said that the same thing. There's too much cases piling up and not being solved. Many are being solved. I think two of the judges made that claim and talk about the Dominica judicial system, how it sucks. Anyways, let's continue. So, brother, implication on that. So we can see how they use in certain measures about the forensics, which of course none was done. Why didn't they get people to come down and do it? They had candidates that could have helped to come down, but instead I heard that they wanted the Canadian government to come, or the Canadian people to pay to do it. And probably they knew that they would not have taken that. It's not our case, it's happening in the country. We'd have to pay to do it. We can aid and assist you, but we don't have to pay to do it. And they probably knew that they would say no, and as a result of that, they decided to run on that. And that's why it looks like what is taking place is Coco Macaque, brothers and sisters.
This case highlights significant challenges in Dominica's law enforcement and prosecutorial practices.
Yep.
The failure to adhere to court orders and the apparent willingness of senior officials like ACP James to mislead the judiciary raises questions about accountability and professionalism. Justice Williams's judgment implicitly condemned these practices, underscoring the importance of transparency and adherence to legal standards in maintaining public trust.
Yeah, but there's no public trust. I think the judicial system has lost the public trust a long time ago. Even though sometimes you're checking, well, what else do we have? So we still have to go through the judicial system, and that's what we have, brothers and sisters, even though sometimes it's not fair. I personally know cases that have been done in the in Dominica, the justice system in Dominica, and something was wrong with the judge. When evidence are clear, the judge still decides, or trying to force the judicial bodies to make the claim, or the jurors to make the claim that he's guilty or she's guilty. When the evidence is very clear, sometimes they deny the very evidence that is being presented. Not just in Dominica, I've seen that happen in the United States as well. They deny the evidence. That's how, and I remember having this conversation with one of the lawyers, Mr. Cabral Douglas, and he's talking about the judicial system and how corrupt it can be. We expect them to be, adherence to some sort of moral value of right and wrong. But if they can manipulate that, brothers and sisters, they'll twist it to whatever measure. And I think that's what the government or whoever's in charge of this Jonathan thing is doing. And I understand, yes, certain things that might have to come forth to actually prove them are not being done. But we all know that he's guilty. Well, we are alleging. We share this sentiment that he could be very much guilty of what has been done. I mean, who else could have done it? Especially, there's a history of the hatred that was happening between the neighbors.
Lehrer's case also sheds light on the broader issue of pretrial detention in Dominica. The court cited international standards, emphasizing that individuals charged with serious crimes must be brought to trial within a reasonable time. The delays in Lehrer's case, exacerbated by prosecutorial incompetence, stand in stark contrast to these principles, highlighting the need for systemic reform.
So although I see on the judicial system, they say that they were following a number of things, we all know that that is not always the case at all, especially when we have heard complaints of this sentiment happening before, in a timely manner, in a timely fashion. And it seems like the justice system is truly broken. And on the basis, even though I believe that Blackmore is a smokescreen, I have to agree with Blackmore on that Blackmore in the regard of the judicial system in Dominica. It sucks. It truly sucks, brothers and sisters. And as a result of that, people can escape with the very murder themselves. Conclusion, a wake-up call for Dominica's justice system. They're not going to wake up. I think they need that system to be as slow and corrupt as it is. Because some of the people who have been brought forth are the very people who are trying to control the justice system, from our understanding. Allegedly controlling the justice system. A conclusion, a wake-up call for Dominica's justice system. I don't think they will ever wake up. It will stay dormant, brothers and sisters. Because this has been happening for donkey years. Years upon years. Years upon years. It's very interesting. Since Scary Dem came in, that's what started to happen to the justice system. True or false? True or false, brothers and sisters? Let me know. Because from my understanding, that's what I gathered. Since Scary Dem took over, the judicial system has started to suck. Anyways, a wake-up call. They indicated for the Dominica justice system right there. The granting of bail to Jonathan Lehrer, despite the gravity of the charges against him, represents a rebuke of the prosecution's handling of the case right there. This individual's role in presenting misleading evidence has not only undermined the state's credibility. I think the state's credibility has already been undermined for a long time. Far too long, brothers and sisters, when it comes down to certain situations right there. Especially sometimes, one of the things that comes to mind, brothers and sisters, is when you're hearing there's a particular individual I knew committed some sort of stuff, brothers and sisters. And the man spent about, I think, 10 or 11 years in jail. 10 or 11 years before his matter was truly called. I think, no, let me take that back. I think his matter was called, but there was, I think, some sort of, maybe it was an appeal or something. Anyways, brothers and sisters, the final verdict, when they say, okay, this man is found guilty and what have you, he was found guilty, but he ended up spending 10 years before he was actually found guilty, brothers and sisters, and they just gave him time served. So the question here is, what if he was actually innocent? What if he was truly innocent in a timely manner? The man would then have spent 10 years in boy, I tell you. You see how crazy the justice system is in Dominica, brother? You see how crazy that is? Yeah, boy. Yeah, but yeah, there's lack of trust when it comes on to the justice system in Dominica. And the people who are in charge seems to be incompetent. But then again, when you have certain people in positions, they're incompetent, and they put in more incompetent people in positions again to the more level of incompetence, and we expect some sort of competence to come from it, really. I think we need to use our brains, brothers and sisters. For Dominica, this case serves as a wake-up call. Transparency, accountability, and adherence to legal standards are essential for the functioning of a fair, I think they should put free as well, free and fair justice system. As Lehrer trial moves forward, the spotlight will remain on the authorities, with the public and the international community watching closely. I know it seems like the international community is watching much more closely than the very Dominican public as well, because when I saw the day that they were about to give Jonathan Lehrer bail, there were very few people that showed up. And that kind of, the thought came to mind, I never said it, but the thought came to mind as to how weak, so to speak, the human condition can be. When there's a hype about the whole thing, everybody wants to show up, oh yeah. As time goes by, it dwindles down. It dwindles down, brothers and sisters, until people just decide, okay, whatever. because life goes on to them. Not realizing sometimes when these things continue, brothers and sisters, for as long as they continue, you know what's going to happen? The whole system is going to break down. Like it has clearly broken down in Dominica. Clear. This is not Dominica article, you know, brothers and sisters. This is not a Dominican article. You understand that? Okay. The lessons is clear, brothers and sisters. Justice delayed is justice denied. Not just for the accused, but for society as a whole. Dominica's legal and law enforcement institution must address these systematic failures to restore confidence in the rule of law. And I think that is one of the things that they used. They knew all these things was going to happen, brothers and sisters. They knew there was a breaking down in the judicial system, and as a result of that, we're going to have somebody walking free, or somebody's walking free, because of that very broken system in Dominica. That's probably why the guy was smiling all the time. He knew he was gonna leave soon. What are your thoughts, guys? These are just my thoughts. These are just my thoughts on what I read. What are your thoughts on the whole thing right there? Do you think Blackmore is right? Do you think these people are correct when they say that they live in the eroding public confidence in our legal system? All right, it has already eroded. It's very clear what is taking place in Dominica. I mean, you have to be blind, brothers. You not blind. All your senses have to vanish. You cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot feel. You cannot eat, because even if you cannot do these things, then you cannot eat properly, brothers and sisters. You know something is wrong because you're not eating properly. So if your taste buds have to disappear, so everything have to disappear for you to really not know what is taking place in Dominica right here. What are your thoughts, guys? These are just my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the matter? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Like I indicated before, I think all this, when it comes down to Blackmore, I could be wrong, but all this, when it comes down to Blackmore, brothers and sisters, is smoke screen right there. They are blaming the police. It's interesting. They are blaming the police for not doing their jobs, or lying and all kind of things. The police saying that the system, or the judicial system, sucks. And then the article in question is saying that the justice system also sucks. I think both of them sucks, and it's just a matter of time that we know that they truly suck, but might just be too late. Somebody who has done something might just end up walking free, brothers and sisters. Like I think, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. These are all I have to say on that matter. Based on what I've seen so far, I've been following it as well, so I know a little something is going on in the scenes right there, brothers and sisters. About Mystelics once again, guys. Be real, brothers and sisters. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Click it for me, please. Just click it for me. One time, if you're watching on the TV, scroll down. You can go down on your TV and click it. Yes, man. Yeah. All right. Yes, man. So just click the thumbs up button for me, brothers and sisters. Subscribe if you've not done so yet. Subscribe to help this channel grow further and further in that regard. And of course, should be notified when I drop all my videos right there. When I drop a video, bow! You'll get it one time, so definitely subscribe and turn on that post notifications. Your boy Mystelics once again. Be real. Salute the king always, brothers and sisters. Be positive. Oh, by the way, guys, there's something that I actually forgot to mention. It just came to mind right there. I feel sorry. I tend to feel sorry for the individuals who are now joined the Bar Association, who then have to go through the grind of not understanding, or maybe getting to learn how corrupt the system that they are planning to do better in is, or they are trying to add value or some level of moral behind that scene on the justice playing field, that they might end up in the same broken system, and as a result of that, that culture that they see, the corrupt culture in the Bar Association, whatever it is, brothers and sisters, they will also embody that in themselves as well, and they too might just become as corrupt as the very system that has failed the very people itself.